Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. In Sanatana Dharma, in our maps, there is a popular and scary word known as samsara. In English, this can be defined as feeling stuck. Some may not relate to that. So here's another sentiment relating to samsara. The feeling of what next? I got this job. What next? I went on this vacation. What next? I had this kid. What next? Now, if you reflect on not being stuck, if you reflect on where you no longer feel what next, how did that happen? What moved you forward from being stuck and feeling what next? It is your trust triangle. And Bette Midler has sung about this. First, our trust triangle is from a distance, and then the wind beneath my wings. And that's why in our culture, I asked you to remember this. Yavat jivam trayo vandyaha Vedanto Gurur Ishwaraha. As long as you are alive to revere your map, your guide, your divinity, and as you evolve and become enlightened, to be even more reverential. I'll share a magical thought with all of you about what the trust triangle can do. Yesterday, we had our Chinmay Mission Cleveland fundraiser. This is a city of barely 2 million if you drive an hour in every direction. And so, in my notes, and it'll be hard for you to read this, but right there I wrote CM 175K. And for me, that is, at the commencement of our fundraiser, we should have already raised 175,000. By the time we started, it was at 180. And beside that, it says COM 250K, which means at the completion of our fundraiser, we should have raised 250,000. And the rest of the committees, their numbers were much lower because they don't have the crazy faith I do. And I told the organizers, by the time I get home, I expect an email from you sharing that we've raised over 250,000. So last night when I checked my email at 1 a.m., there was that email that we raised over 250,000. Who did it? You think the donors did it? You think the committees did it? You think I did it? Yavat jivam rayo vandyaha. Do not make your personal mistake of underestimating how effective, how efficient, how enlightened the trust triangle is. In Sanatana Dharma, maps on self-development share for one to go from being a searcher to a seeker to a savior, the sadhana chatushtaya is required. That one needs critical qualities to be able to evolve. And the first that is shared is viveka. Viveka is when you have a feeling. It can be logical, it can be illogical, but you have a feeling that there's more to life than what you've done. There's more to life than who you are. Once you have this viveka, what happens? You start to engage in purification of your experiences, preparation of your equipment, all to be able to process your ego. Viveka is this feeling of more. This triggers you starting to differentiate, to find this more. Your experiences become more pure, your equipments become more prepared. Again, all for the ego. In our Practices to Perfection course, one of the practices was dissect negativity. If there's ever negativity, guess who's the cause of that? You are. In the same way, why do we feel stuck when you process the ego? That's the same as dissecting the ego. It is an illusion. You are not ignorant. I'll share this in another way. How many of you have seen Pujaswami Chinmayananda's BMI chart by a show of hands? Almost everyone. Okay. So you can see it. I'm going to change the labels in reference to chapter 13. If you go at the bottom, it's OET. The new label for this chapter is experiences specific. Experiences specific. I experience objects. I experience beings and circumstances. Going higher, you differentiate. You see the PFT. That's experiences general. Experiences specific, the articles, beings, and circumstances. But how is that being felt? It is experiences general. Now, experiences, this depends on, if you go higher up, the BMI. That's equipment. Correct? We are differentiating. What is more than experiences specific? How do I even experience this porch? Experiences general. How do I facilitate experiences general? Because of equipment. Now, what's above that? Vasanas, or ego. And when you differentiate that, what's above that? Om, or existence. This is what this chart, this is what this chapter is guiding us to. Keep going deeper and deeper and deeper until you cannot go deeper. That's what you are. You are existence. So much so, you are not creation. There is no creator. There is only consciousness. This comes out very clearly in verse 26. In verse 26, Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam stavara jangamam. Whatever entity is born, is created, whether moving or not moving. That's the first line. And the implication of this is, don't take it for granted. What does it mean to be created? How did this birth happen? Do that generally, but then do that about you. I keep challenging you. Who told you your thoughts are you? It's on your birth certificate. That whole first line is sharing. The ignorant take for granted. Those who are remembering They're grateful. They differentiate. Kshetra, kshetrajna, samyogat. All of this has happened because of the mix between the kshetra and the kshetrajna, changing those words to, it is a mix of that which is manifest and that which is unmanifest. That's all it is, a mix. I'm reading part of Pujya Swami Chinmayananda's teachings on this. Not only the form and all attributes of the ghost come to be projected upon the post, but the post also lends its existence to the non-existent ghost. As a result of their mutual exchange, we find that the non-existent ghost comes to exist in our experience, while the existing post becomes a non-existent ghost, with illusions of physical limbs and ghastly behavior. Yesterday I shared, that which is mixed up is messed up. And this is how, even though we are factually seeing a post, we feel like we're seeing a ghost. You are factually of the nature of joy, yet you feel stress and anxiety and dejection. Tat vidhi, know this. Bharatarshava, Prince Arjuna, you are not ordinary, you are exceptional. For us, why would awareness infinity play a game of being unmanifest and manifest? Can awareness in infinity even become unmanifest, manifest? It's not possible. When through careful discrimination we successfully discover this play in ourselves, the vision of plurality recedes. And we understand that the ultimate truth is a substratum on which both Prakriti and Purusha play. If there's a superimposition, there has to be a substratum. Final thought before we go to the next most lovely verse. Today we completed day 15 of the highest vocation. 3 more days of advanced contemplation, then all of you will be enlightened. You'll go from contemplation to meditation. And I've really been emphasizing that contemplation is felt as observation. When there's a momentum of going from the ego to awareness, yesterday I shared with all of you in Meaningful Mornings, it is work hard and smart and then allow yourself to evolve. You applying time to this inhibits you from evolving. So Pujya Swami Chinmayananda has shared, heroically live as an observer of all that is happening within, not allowing ourselves to be misled by our own imaginations, is the method of realizing the perfection in ourselves. This is what perfection will look like in you. Verse 27. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtam parameshwaram vinashatsva vinashyantam yaf pashyati sa pashyati. Joy. Sarva bhuteshu, which means in all beings. Doesn't matter what their name or form is. Samam. There is an equality. Of what? Tishtantam, what is established in them, what is standing in them, Parameshwaram, the divine. In every being, what is standing in them is divinity. That's not a new thought, but perhaps a reflection for us to feel this, because we don't just want to think about this. In chapter 12 and the earlier part of 13, the word sama came up a lot. Sama means to be balanced. The more balanced you are, or sama, the more you will feel samam. You will feel all are equal. That is EDI training. Vinashatsu avinashantam. You will see with your eyes that which is perishing, but you will have the insight, the vision of that which is imperishing, unperishing. Yaha pashyati, the one who sees this not with their eyes but with knowledge, saha pashyati, only that person sees. This is a famous phrase from the Bhagavad Gita, yaha pashyati, sapashyati. Shri Krishna is sharing a very strong message here that unless you live by vision, the vision that all are equal, the vision of oneness, then you're not seeing. You are blind. What awesome training. Reflect lots on this. From inspiration to application, your application was to engage in sheer acceptance. How many of you tried? Good, lots of you. Here is one insight into sheer acceptance. The more important the work you do, the less you micromanage. The more important the work you do is, the less you micromanage. Sheer acceptance is the most important work, in which case you don't micromanage. And this relates to this morning's application. I want you to rate how much you micromanage. 1 is awful. You're not even living your own life. You're living 100 other lives. 100 is awesome. You practice sheer acceptance with others because you feel you are doing God's work. So rate yourself. Tomorrow I will rate you. I know a whole lot of you. Your number is going to be here. I'm going to lower your number to here. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.